you're done with a woman, you gotta destroy her. It's like, you can't just be like, I'm done with you and push you to the curb. You literally gotta get her strung out until she dies. Like, because she will come back and either your shit up, right? She knows where the body's at, so she's gonna tell another pimp, or she's gonna tell the police. But she will come back if she are left on a bad note. And I think Diddy learned that, right? With one, especially with Cassie, but also all these people that were assistants.
Perfect.
What's good, Josh? Your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. You know I'm in the building with my dog, my guy, Spec. What's going on, brother?
It's good, people.
Spec in the building with us. Everything good in your world, bro?
Another day, another dollar. Happy Sunday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let the people know, man. Make sure y'all go check out the YouTube. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure, you turn them notifications on so you can know every time we drop in a new video out here of the Perfect Talk Podcast. And like we do around this time, it's time for Plicker's Spotlight Story. We take a big story, sometimes a little story, but it's definitely going to be one that caught our eye and we're going to bring your attention to, man. And this one, I got to talk about my guy Stefon Diggs on Memorial Day, man.
Stefon Diggs living the life.
He is living the life on a boat, on a yacht. He hanging out with Cardi B. Some news publications say that's his lady. Some people just letting him chill, do what they gonna do. But he having fun. Big old party. The video I seen, he's the only guy there.
Right.
I just saw a boat full of women, and the only guy I saw there was Stefon Diggs, which is like usually a recipe for disaster when people have cameras. If you're just there by yourself and you know that, nobody long distance shoots, like getting a shot of you, cool. But nah, this was crazy. There was twerking going on, and then there's that one part where Stefon's hanging out with three young ladies, and it gets a little messy. Let's play that video right.
Big Dad.
I'm not no lip reader, but he looked like he said, "Don't take all of it."
That's what he said. Don't take all of it.
Y'all go have fun. Y'all go do what y'all do. And then he also, if you couldn't hear the audio, he goes, "What's my name?" And they keep saying "Daddy," and he's like, "No, I'm Mr. Get It on a Boat," or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm Mr. Oh, so he's like, "I'm Mr. I can get it on a boat." See, Mr. Make It Happen on a boat. Now, I'm all for people having a good time, doing what they're going to do. Have fun. It's the off season. Once season comes back around, if you play for a team I root for, stay clean, stay eligible. But, have your fun in the off season. But what makes it a little problematic is he's not secretly being recorded.
Right.
That's not like a hidden camera. That is eye-level camera, like right in front of your face. You knew people had phones on there. You knew people had cameras on there. And you was just kind of like, I don't know, which might be his everyday lifestyle. Maybe that's just how he lives life. But you got to move smarter than that. Cause
Trump playbook.
What's
I
that?
mean, it was just pink gum. Mentos. If I was doing something bad, I would have hit it.
You know what? Right? If you do it right out in the open, yep, you can't. I have plausible deniability because why would I have done that? And you can't go test it now. It's too late. You're right about that. And then also, what are they going to do? What's the NFL could do is what? Drug test them?
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't do. I mean, I can't make out what it is.
Yeah,
it's just something pink.
So if
you can assume.
Clean, but he comes out clean. He's problem solved. He's done. Like there's a null and void. Because
they have another month, a month and a half till training camp or something?
They do. I don't know now. I don't know if they can just random drug test.
Not outside.
Not in the off season, right?
Yeah, no. I doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I doubt it.
It's kind of wild to do that. But because that's the only thing I'm thinking. As long as he comes up clean, but is he gonna come back clean? Because he goes, don't use all of it. which usually implies I want a little something back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't make.
Or don't use all of it because you're gonna start wilding. There's some strong
that's
stuff.
true. I ain't trying to be responsible for y'all bitches dying on this boat. That's true too. Stefon Diggs has always been the guy that seems a little like a poon hound. Like he likes the girl.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
What the hell? Diggs.
Why Diggs?
Man, no. We're going to leave it like that. No.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
Oh, Stefon Diggs.
Why Diggs?
He's crazy. He's just outrageous. Don't know what he's going to say. Just don't know what to expect every day. So he couldn't date my sister.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
Least I could date my sister, Diggs. 100%.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister? And I might add, you're starting to be the runaway favorite for this.
Would nobody want me to date this sister? I'm a great guy. I'm actually a great guy.
There's actually seems to be a few guys that don't think that.
Feel differently about me?
Yeah.
They just don't know me well enough. That's what.
Like his teammates know what they don't know. So maybe he just likes to keep girls supplied with what their vices are, whether it be
Makes sense.
pills or powder or whatever, weed or whatever.
We're on the boat. We trying to have a good time. Make sure everybody have a good time.
Yeah. His coach, however, was asked about it after Stefon failed to attend the Patriots organized teamed activities.
Team activities in the off season?
Yeah, voluntary.
Oh,
They
okay.
have voluntary workouts.
Oh, okay.
So the hungry dudes and the rookies obviously got to go to it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you like, yo, I don't care, I'll show up the last day right before I got to go to camp. If you're a superstar, you probably do that. So it looks weird that you was showing up to voluntary shit and then suddenly this video aired.
So he did show up.
For previous ones.
Okay.
But remember, this happened Memorial Day, so it was Monday. Maybe their next practice day was Wednesday, and that's the night he didn't show up to that. Maybe they told him to stay away because they already knew that 2 days of this being in the media is going to be the first thing that people are going to ask. They're not going to be able to get off anything. So the coach basically took the heat and being asked about it.
Well, it's something that we're aware of, and obviously we want to make great decisions on and off the field, and we're hoping that with our time here on the field today, and that when we don't have a script and we're on the call periods, that we're making great decisions. And so the message will be the same for all our players, that we're trying to make great decisions, and any conversations that I've had with Stefon will remain between him and I and the club.
So basically, keep your nose clean and we don't need this. Like,
Literally and figuratively. Keep your nose clean.
Yeah, no one said you can't have fun. No one said you can't party. And I'm starting to wonder, is this just the lifestyle? Because I feel like Odell Beckham got caught for this way back. Like, whenever Odell Beckham was still in the league. He's just hanging out with a girl and she has the powder. But, you know what I'm saying? Someone's obviously recording, you know what I mean? And maybe this is just like, this is what we're around. Like, we can't control.
So let me, from what I understand, I mean, celebrities, entertainers, you know, if you're male, right, you're around women, these types of women, they like to party. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't only mean, you know, just dancing and drinking. That means other things to get you off. And, you know, that's what they do. To each his own. If I'm going to be in that world, hey, I mean, I have the money to supply it. I mean, is that stuff illegal? Like,
well, you don't want to hand somebody drugs on video and that, like you said.
No, yeah, I get,
you know
I get how it looks.
Yeah,
I mean, but
you don't want to be the person handing somebody anything and people know that you gave them that. Even though it's not on video, they know you gave them that. And now that person starts seizing out or OD. Something stupid. That's not going to and that. You didn't have nothing to do with that. You didn't poison that person. You didn't lace whatever you gave them. Someone could have been trying to lace you.
No, I was just trying to come from is it illegal to do those things? I don't think so. But I mean, I guess it depends on what it is.
Yeah, because he wasn't selling it. Yeah, I guess. And it's bad right now because of the media state that we're in, where we're looking at Diddy every day getting in trouble, and then people are bringing up what his hotel room looked like the night he got arrested, and a lot of, you know what I mean? So it starts to bring in the idea of these ladies seem to be there by choice. Do they really need that much chemical inspiration?
It's still a choice.
Yeah. But then you get into that gray zone when people start saying a couple years later,
he forced me to blah,
exactly.
Blah.
And then we're like, well, you did hand the powder on a boat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't want to put yourself in those positions. You want
Right.
to be the guy that can always be like, well, when did you see them? You do that. When did you know what I mean? And
But nonetheless, we hear all the time. I mean, women like to party. I mean, not only women, men like to party too. But party includes other things. So,
and then know when you're a target. Know when there's someone that's gonna try to get paid off of selling TMZ a video on you. Like he just signed a $69 million contract with the Patriots. Not his first contract. You know what I'm saying? So he's got money. You know what I'm saying? And what we just said, partying is cool, but look at Diddy right now. You know what I mean? And we're gonna talk about Diddy, but it's like
he did a little more than party.
no, yes, obviously. But I say all that to say, people come back. People remember the things you did to them, and if there is things that are done in the dark, I think eventually they do come out to the light. And then things you never done might get put on your name because you got enough where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you definitely want to be careful with that. And the other thing too, I'm sure the Patriots aren't excited that he's dating Cardi B. Like, what does that do for them? That's not Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? And the NFL, trust me, this is his third, and it's the Patriots. They know Stefon's a wild boy in terms of what he's into and what he's not. So you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you perform on the field and can show up and do what you're gonna do, you know what I mean? Then we'll work with that. But they're not looking for this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially in the off season, having to answer questions like that. So definitely hold your head up, Stefon. And I'm on the side of it where I'm like, yo, you have the freedom to live life.
Yeah, I'm in with like Stefon. Do your thing, but
Yeah,
I mean,
be careful.
Just know who's around you.
Yeah, the same thing I would have told Shannon Sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like before, like bro, just know what you're messing with. no, all these females don't necessarily have the best intentions.
No, I'll say Shannon. I mean, I'm not gonna say date your age because you're up there, but get out the teenage years. Like,
oh yeah, Shannon was over there. Yeah. I just bring it up to say it's reckless activity that could always come back. And it's funny as you get older. I just celebrated a birthday this past week. It's like you just see now the reckless activity before you even get into it. You know what I'm saying? And I think I've known you for a while. You've been really good at knowing, like, nah, I'm just gonna stay away from that. He's like, I see where this could go. I'm just gonna, you know what I mean? So
you know yourself. You know what to stay away from.
Yeah, some people don't though. They always think like I could try it. What was I listened to on the radio the other day? Rob 49. He was just talking about addiction. He had a pill addiction. And he's like, I can still, mess with it when I want, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, all right.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's the same thing with pussy. The same exact thing, man.
What's good, people? It's your boy Spec. Make sure you go check out DJ Playboy's YouTube channel, dropping new episodes of Night Shift DJ Mix. Has all types of music from hip-hop, R&B, Afro beats, reggae, and even some EDM. You can play it at work, in the car, at the gym, while you're strolling through the park. Make sure you hit up that channel, like, and subscribe.
Respect, man. When we haven't kicked it in a while, man, when we finally get to chop it up again, we like to take it to a section that we have here on the Perfect Talk podcast called Since We Spoke, man. And we got to talk about the Diddy case, bro. A lot has passed since we have chopped it up, man. I mentioned earlier, footage was released of his hotel room on the night he was arrested. A lot of drugs.
Really?
A lot of drugs. Let's see if
I didn't see the photo.
Yeah, Diddy. No, but I mean, Diddy's from what we're just learning from like this.
I mean, he knew he was about to go to jail. He just said, "Let me wild out."
I think he thought he was turning himself in. So like I'll be able to clean this up before, like, you know what I mean. So they found a lot of lube, pills. I think this is cash. More prescription pills.
He was in New York though, right?
Yeah.
Why was he staying in a hotel in New York?
Because he was going to turn himself in.
Right, but don't he live? He don't have a place in New York?
I assume. Well, look how they did him. I think he was aware of. Like, would you rather them pull up on you in the lobby of a hotel, or do you want all your neighbors and all the people have to see all the feds now? Because they're gonna send the whole force to get you. Like you're a fucking the dude from Silence of the Lambs, you know what I'm saying? And like, I guess he just didn't want that, you know what I mean?
Jolly Rancher, that's freaky.
a lot of lube and like, what was he trying to one last freak off? You know what I'm saying? He said thousands of dollars of cash. He probably gonna have a good little night, I imagine. You know what I'm saying? Astroglide, lubricant, and Ziploc bags. What is with the baby oil? 5 bottles of baby oils in the bathtub. 2 more bottles of lubricant in the drawer. pink powdery substance, as well as a bag with $9,000 of cash inside. 2 bags of drugs consisting of a colored pink powder were found in a prescription bottle of clonazepam and later tested positive for ketamine, and a mix of ketamine and MDMA, which is ecstasy. And then I think when they raided, they revealed when they raided his 2 residences, they said they found a ton of drugs there too, just like hidden in like boots and all types of stuff. Like the man likes what he likes. Apparently, I think he thought, all right, that he was gonna have like a good night. He was gonna party, and then I guess just go turn himself.
I mean, he was in there for a few. Wasn't he there for a couple days?
I think maybe a day, to be honest. I remember wasn't he with like Jim Jones? They said he was popping up around New York, and I remember people like a lot of footage was showing him just chopping it up with people. I think he was smoking a blunt with like some people on the street, and then I think that night they was just like, nah, we running up in here, bro. Like this guy's out of hand. This guy's just walking around New York City like he's John Gotti. But yeah, that was revealed. Kid Cudi, his testimony was brought up, which is weird. I didn't think they would really do that because that whole thing, the evidence on that seems a little weird with the Kid Cudi like car bombing situation. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much you heard about that, but they said that they found some type of DNA on a bottle that was thrown into
in the car,
but it was a woman's DNA, and which obviously, you know what I'm saying, doesn't mean that Diddy didn't have anything to do with it, but it just means that like he could have hired someone to do it, or the bottle went through a lot of hands. It just felt like really like kind of hearsay evidence. Like what kind like Kid Cudi never pressed charges against Diddy. Kid Cudi never came out and discussed this about like on his own.
But think about it. He probably just wanted to be done with it, not because he knew I press charge now. We're in court now. It's a long drawn out thing. It's probably not that serious. I ain't even trying to smash this chick no more.
They said Diddy broke into his house.
Yep.
He didn't say this. One of Diddy's assistants said this on a later date that they said they was chasing him around the Hollywood Hills, and I'm just wondering how many people Diddy has killed to just think that you could just like act like some brazen gangster in the middle of the street. Like these stories that are coming out in this case of him just like threatening people. Like he had an assistant that her best friend's baby daddy was Suge Knight. She said he took her to Central Park at night and told her like people disappeared. And if shit starts getting funny, she might be one of them.
I believe that. I mean, he beat up Cassie in the hotel. Like, I mean, you know there's cameras, dog. Like, you clearly just don't care.
Young Thug Blast, Kid Cudi has a right. Kid Cudi don't care. But that's the other thing, too. These people don't want to testify. It's a federal subpoena. Like, Cassie was 9 months pregnant. She literally
in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, right? She literally had a kid this past week.
Yeah,
she gave birth to her 3rd baby. Shout out to her and Alex Fine. But literally on the stand, feeling what possibly could have been contractions. You know what I'm saying? So to make it seem like these people like want to like testify against Diddy, some of them obviously have a grudge against him and they're not happy. I don't think Kid Cudi wanted to be caught up in this in any type way, shape, or form. The whole little showing up with the cigarette smoking thing, like you about to show up to a movie set.
Stressed.
Yeah, I'm about to say that man looked like he was stressed out in the back of that car. But to think that like the whole thing happened, right? Diddy was mad at him in some way, shape, or form. Kid Cudi could have like fell into. How many times in Kid Cudi's career have I heard he's depressed? Or he's not in the best mental state. Mm-hmm. Shit like that could have, you know what I mean? It could have added on to it. And where the man messed up, and I think that's where the case, I don't really think Diddy had much of a case to stand on. They started out admitting fault in terms of domestic violence and shit like that. But where I think he's messing up is he has so many assistants. And they know the inner workings. One of his assistants is, she's using they allowed her to use a pseudonym, a fake name. She said that he sexually assaulted her in his house multiple times. Another one named Capricorn Clark. She's the one who gave a lot of the details about Kid Cudi. I believe she's the one who called Kid Cudi and said that Diddy was at the house. She said that she was forced to get in the car to go after Kid Cudi. It was like a lot, bro. Like that, but that when you have these people that take care of all your, for lack of a better term, toilet paper and you know what I'm saying, like shitty work. They like, now they know where the bodies are buried, and you ain't on the best relationship with these people.
And he probably, once they F up, get out of here, you're done, and I'm gonna find a new one who then's gonna handle this dirt. All right, you're done, and then a new one, And now you got 10 disgruntled people who just waiting to tell on
And
you.
now all their stories align. You know what I'm saying? Because Capricorn Clark, actually, the defense didn't bring this up. The defense, I don't know if Diddy lied to his lawyers or something like that. The defense was trying to hit Capricorn Clark with like, yo, Diddy wrote you a referral letter. You're trying to claim that he blacklisted you and that you weren't able to go places. And she's like, he didn't write that referral letter. I wrote that. That's from 2012. That ain't from 2021. And it looked like like the lawyers didn't know. They thought this was like from 2021. Diddy wrote that. She's like, no, I wrote that as it was part of our settlement. So now they had to go into details about why she had a settlement with Diddy. And it's just like, the more and more you get into it, you like, damn, yo, Diddy, you a fucked up individual, bro. Like, damn, bro. But being a fucked up individual isn't a reason to go to jail. That you shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you go to prison for being a fucked up individual.
Right.
Well, what I will say is that they do seem to be proving what they tried them on. You definitely have moved people across state lines.
My whole thing with this whole thing, like, I don't ever really recall just one person getting hit with the RICO.
Ever.
And so that's just my thing. Like, where's this all gonna? Because it's just Diddy right now. Like,
I think some of these people testifying. There's no Cassie was probably part of this. Like part of the actual, but then she testifies for the.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's
Capricorn. Like these people, like they were making phone calls. They were covering shit up.
That's what I'm like. It's
like,
and that's where it's kind of like I'm really curious to see how this all will end, because one person getting hit with, like, when you hear RICO, it's not just ever just one person, and so, and even in those situations, all the other people who are attached to that case, they're not all getting immunity. Like, they may get a better, like, lesser deals and shit. But if I'm not mistaken, it's only Diddy who's like being charged.
They're not even gonna go after these other people.
So it's just, hey, I mean,
where did I hear this? It comes from Iceberg Slim, right? And it says, he's a pimp. When you're done with a woman, lack of a better term, when you're done with a woman, you gotta destroy her. It's like, you can't just be like, I'm done with you and push you to the curb. You literally got to get her strung out on heroin and then fucking until she dies. Like, because she will come back and either fuck your shit up, right? She knows where the bodies are buried, so she's going to tell another pimp, or she's going to tell the police, but she will come back if you are left on a bad note. And I think Diddy learned that, right? With one, especially with Cassie, but also all these people that were assistants, they weren't necessarily lovers, but they were like your whores, and you were the pimp, and you disrespect them in public. You embarrass them. You smoke crazy to them. These people are probably lining up to want to fucking bury you on it. Like, sure. And it's not even. I really don't think Diddy. If we're being honest, Diddy was freaky with his girlfriend. Now, I'm not saying he's not guilty of anything. Like, he's done some fucked up shit, and definitely to her and other people. There are crimes in here, but what we're here talking about. Right, what they seem to be all meeting about, it looks like he had a freaky relationship with his girlfriend. And before we walked into this, it sounded like there was crazy things happening at parties and all that, which is could or could not be true, but that's not what we're here for. Mm-hmm. Sounds like what we're here for is he had a freaky relationship with his girlfriend that included illegal sex workers, right? But at the end of the day, it was just like, is that different from a lot of people that, you know what I'm saying, in this country? What you're really going to jail for is being a fucked up individual, because now all these people are like, oh, you did a crime. We have no hesitation to want to throw you into the jail for it. And it's so fucked up. Like you just said, so RICO, ain't nobody else rich standing next to you. So either they all flipped on you, or we don't even want to go after them. They're not worth our time. Right. They're not worth our resources. You, the example of you worth it, and we're gonna go there. So yeah, I don't. From what I'm hearing, it's not looking great. Right. It ain't looking great for Diddy, man. But you just gotta sleep in the bed you made. And you know what I'm saying? I said this 100 times on this podcast before too. Like the Russell Simmons, and him not as much, but definitely the Dame Dashes and the P Diddy's that like to publicly embarrass people because they know they have videographers around, and they used to talk crazy to people, and not just their subordinates. They used to talk crazy to people that were like their partners or the bosses, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, people remember that shit. People don't remember everything you said or like advice that you're giving them, but people remember how you made them feel. Mm-hmm. That shit sticks with people, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, we see it now. Spec, man, since we spoke, Joe Biden revealed his a sad diagnosis of cancer. Yeah. Prostate cancer, right? very aggressive form that he says is spread to the bones.
Yep.
Prayers out to Joe Biden, first of all.
Sure.
Not something you want to live with, and obviously cancer in their family. Bo Biden, I believe, passed away of cancer. So it's something that they deal with. Definitely prayers out to the Biden family. Definitely not liking the politicizing it. You know, people saying. I think JD Vance, while giving condolences, was like,
Biden, sir, do you have any thoughts on his diagnosis?
Yeah, look, I mean, first of all, of course, we wish the best for the former president's health. And, you know, it sounds pretty serious, but hopefully he makes the right recovery. Like, I will say, whether the right time to have this conversation is now or at some point in the future, we really do need to be honest about whether the former president was capable of doing the job. And that's no, you know, that you can separate the desire for him to have the right health outcome with the recognition that whether it was doctors or whether there were staffers around the former president, I don't think he was able to do a good job for the American people. And that's not politics. That's not because I disagreed with him on policy. That's because I don't think that he was in good enough health. In some ways, I blame him less than I blame the people around him. And why didn't the American people have a better sense of his health picture? Why didn't the American people have more accurate information about what he was actually dealing with? This is serious stuff.
And then who else? Donald Trump Jr. Retweets somebody that says, you know, like, how did we get this far with stage in this form of cancer without us know? Either they didn't look or we didn't know. He writes here, how did Dr. Joe Biden miss stage 5 cancer, which she's not even a medical doctor, which is like one of the crazy. It's like, bro, if retarded was a tweet, you just made it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, a man still has cancer, whether you agree with him or not. Like, we gotta like get out of that phase in this country where it's like, just because you don't agree with somebody, you're wishing death and you're dancing on their.
And we're not stupid, right? He got diagnosed with stage 5 cancer or 4.
I don't think it's 5.
We know that this has been. It didn't just happen, right?
Because that's not how cancer works,
right? So,
or he would just have not had to been checked in a very long time.
He knew.
Yeah, exactly.
We know he knew. It is what it is. I mean, it's nothing. Yeah.
The last time I seen him before this announcement, he was on The View with Joe Biden, and I think they were like fighting, basically like because Jake Tapper has a book out now saying how there was a whole media cover up of during this thing, and
there
like,
was.
There obviously was, but I'm like, how you trying to fight cover up rumors, but you got to do an interview with your wife next to you like that? That just shows, you know what I'm saying? But obviously, she like, I'm not gonna let you go out there alone and da. She knows what he's going through, so that's a ride or die right there. But yeah, we would be silly not to believe that they knew something was going on before this. And I also don't believe this is the first time that happened with the president and they didn't let the public know. Like, we're not, you know, stupid. But don't want to make it like it's this whole big cover up or at the end of the day. And Donald Trump getting wild with it. At first, he was a little like, you know what I mean, cool about, you know, that guy like Donald Trump, he could only put on the front for so long. But now he just dropped it. He called Biden the corpse the other day. He said, if you feel sorry for him, don't feel sorry.
Damn.
Yeah. He called him scum and referred to the former president as a decrepit corpse. Speaking with the press on May 30th, Trump was asked about Biden's aggressive cancer and pulled no punches. He still yells, he's been sort of a moderate person over his lifetime. Not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I would say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel sorry because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. So I really don't feel sorry for him.
Damn, Trump.
Yeah, I don't like, that's that 50 Cent energy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, shout out to
you had to say, I wish him well.
Yeah, I don't, yo, bro. It is not that. I maybe I'm just too like into spirits and energy and shit like that. I'm like, well, I got to put that out there on me. I don't need like, yeah, wish you the best, bro. Because
it's over. Like, well, he's not coming back in the office, so it's not.
But also, it's like, when do we go from like enjoying competition, right? Like boxers.
There's no such thing. It's
like, yo, you put up a good fight. I don't want you to die. Right. I thought you was a good competitor. Like, the Knicks shook the Pacers' hands last night after going 6 games with them. They didn't want to, right. But that's what you do.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah, like, what is like, just because you on a different side with somebody, I don't.
That's our politics, real ops.
Yeah,
like real ops.
Apparently, man. Let me see, real quick, before we move on to our next segment. Since we spoke. Looks like your man Offset It might be due to these Stefon Diggs videos. So he's requesting spousal support from Cardi B.
Oh, come on.
Now, okay, that's what I want to talk to. Not because I don't know at that much details. What I do know is Offset says he doesn't need the money, and he's not doing it because he needs the money. He's doing it because it's within his rights to, and he feels like his back has been put against the wall in terms of what Cardi is demanding from this divorce. And he feels
wait, she's demanding stuff from the divorce?
According to him, he says that she wants all the property, that she's not allowing him to see his kids as much, but although he says he's not allowing him to see his kids, but she's never with the kids.
The fact that I'm waking up right now to see that this and his team, I know it's not his team, I know it's his gonna tell the Breakfast Club the only reason why this asking for spousal support because I was asking for everything and because I don't be with my kids. Yo, you such a ass. Word to my mother. I want you to die, but I want you to die slow. When you die, I want you to die slow in the bed. And while you die, you gotta think of me. And when I first filed for divorce, my lawyer filed for and this started spazzing, right? So I told my lawyer I asked for no child support because I want to be done with this marriage. Like, I feel like I'm tied up.
So he feels like this is what he has to do to get the terms that he wants for his thing. Which it could be true. Like, your lawyers are going to use the only weapons that they have to use. Right. If she's going after A, B, and C, where initially it didn't seem like she was going to do this, this is what you can do. And why wouldn't you if you know, you're on that side of it? But I want to also talk to your reaction about it. Why don't people give that reaction when a woman goes after spousal support? Because I heard them talking about it on the radio, and they gave the same thing. They was like, "Oh, you a broke boy if you going after your woman for spousal support, right?" But obviously, you were only entitled to that if that other person, I'm assuming, made more than you, right? But nobody ever does that in the woman situation. Now we can't pretend. Obviously, some women, if they're taking care of your kids, taking care of your household, they need that. Some of these women are more, they have more potential to make money than the man that they're leaving, and they still, are going to go for the spousal support because it's the norm. So why do we do that little, we put a negativity on it if the man wants to do it because he's using the same weapons within the same legal system that the woman's using, but it doesn't have that stigma on it when the woman does it?
That's a good question. I was about to call him gay. That's gay. Until you...
A lot of people had that same reaction.
Until you, talked about it even. I'm okay. I mean, that makes sense. If she's trying to get all A, B, and C, and this is my only recourse, I get that. Then I'm cool with it. Yeah. But just out the blue, I mean, technically, there's nothing wrong with it. But I don't know why I just automatically.
So let's go a step further. If let's say she was making more money than you, and she was supporting you in that household. Now she left.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I think it's corny. I do think it's corny. Like some of the,
I think it just depends. I think it depends on the situation. Yeah. If it's a situation where she may still be making more, but y'all both clearly y'all both have millions. You have nothing to really gain from it.
Let bygones be bygones.
Then let bygones be bygones in that case. But if it is a real situation where, she was supporting you, maybe and you have a lifestyle, I can see that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, but this seems more like it's tick for tack. She did this, so now I'm going to go back and do that, and the same way that they go back and forth in the media with each other. But it's like, yeah, you got. Even remember we talked about the Steve Smith Jr.
Yes.
Steve Smith Sr., excuse me. And that situation, if the audience who doesn't know, Steve Smith Sr. got caught in an affair with a married woman. Her husband actually revealed it to the public. And that guy is suing Steve Smith Sr. because of the state that they live in. You can sue somebody. It's called a housebreaker law, homewrecker law. If someone comes in and so quote unquote home wrecks your marriage, right, they now might be entitled to have to owe you some money. Sucker shit on surface. But if you see what happened to this guy and the text messages that he found, I can see why he would feel that type of way, to feel like, I'm going to get all I can get from this former NFL player. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think the legal system is the legal system. And I don't think... the woman could call him the gay slur that we used in the 90s. She could call him a bitch. She could call him all types of stuff. She's entitled to feel the way she's going to feel if she's the one that getting used against him. But as a public, I don't think we should put that stigma on it, because when it comes to child support and certain things like that, we kind of just do things with a norm. Like, oh yeah, go for yours. And even if a man goes after, like, I don't even think child support has that same stigma on it. But like spousal support, niggas like, yo, you soft, bro. Like,
you can't support yourself.
Go make some money.
You let this woman support you.
Yeah, but with all that being said, though, if you are gonna, you know what I mean, get the divorce, be mature about it. But I guess it's hard. You can't. You need the other party to be that. Because I'm looking at Remy, Ma, and Papoose right now.
Yep, another situation.
They too damn old to be acting like this, bro. Like he's now Papoose. You can tell Papoose was holding a lot of stuff in for a while because he's like dropping dirt. Like he talking about she's a lesbian. He caught her in the bed with some other chick one time that she used to be locked up with.
I can see that.
And then he's like, "Oh, my kid was home. My kid was in the bedroom while they was in the bed." He's like, "Yo, I'm like Papoose. I never knew you to be the Vlad TV type. Put your shit on blast."
I mean, I would be too if I stayed solid all them years and held everything down, and you did like that. Gotta hurt. Period. No offense, buts.
Yeah.
And with that said, you're gonna act abnormal in terms of your feelings. So
she tells me, I'm going to sleep in the guest room with such and such. I said, okay, that's cool. I sleep in the room by myself. Big ass crib, big ass room, everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I bought through the whole crib, all the utilities in my name. That's another story, but she fabricating. Moving on along, that's documented too, because I've been paying out the same account for over 15 years, whatever, or more. Moving on along, I sleep in the room by myself. I don't think nothing of it. Next day, same thing. I said, damn, babe, you sleeping in there again? She like, yeah, I'm gonna just stay with such and such, right? I said, all right, cool. Anybody in Bedford Hills, can you please step to the front? So now I'm like, damn, this shit weird.
I don't, and this is retrospect. In hindsight's 2020. So like, I'm looking back. Obviously, you always be like, I always knew, but something always didn't seem believable about the whole. She's like, she went to prison, and I'm gonna hold her down the entire time. It was just something was like a little like off about it to me, like.
When you say off, like you didn't believe he was holding her down, or
I don't believe his intentions. I think he did that more so because of how he would be viewed. Like he held it down in her prison sentence, but I think them just being so public about it and they're showing as much. I think because from what he claims now, there was stuff going on for years. When she came back home, she was doing funny shit. Like they used to celebrate their parties together. Then one year she has an all girls party, and that's when she hooks back up with this girl from prison. But I'm like, it seems like and the way he's alluding as if he has a lot more skeletons. But I'm like, then why do the whole like super husband bit online or in the public?
Well, I feel like he could still claim that because he's not the one doing the dirt. It's her, but he's still there. He's holding down the fort.
Yeah.
You know,
he's probably a family man, and he
enjoys so from that perspective, he still is all those things.
Yeah.
Now she may not be the greatest, but you know.
Yeah, no, and it's sad to see where they're at now because one, there's kids involved. Cardi B, All-Star situation, same thing. There's kids involved, but like even like y'all were the OGs. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not. I
just hate where at the end of the day people can't act like adults. It's all right that we fell out of love. We're not with each other no more. But people they get so like
nasty to
nasty,
each other. And that was the person,
especially when there's kids. Like that's the thing when there's kids because nobody wins. Mm-hmm. Like nobody wins in those situations. And the kids take the brunt of it because you adults, y'all gonna move on at some point.
Yeah,
the kids take the brunt of all of that shit.
And
act like adults. Like if not for yourselves, for the children. Period.
No, my daughter's 10 now, right? I don't control what she here in the household. I can control what she sees, what she doesn't. Once she leaves the house, I can't control what her friends talk about. What they have, some of them have phones. What they show her, she's in different programs. They show her things, so I can't control that. So I say all that to say these celebrity kids, their parents are celebrities. Like these kids are seeing them. As much as you would like to think they're too young for that or they too whatever, right. I wholeheartedly believe either searching for it or it's brought to them. People ask them stupid shit about it. So it's just like that's more than enough reason to like not act like a donkey in the streets over like the nonsense like you're doing. But yeah, I don't get that, and I'm not batting 100, 1,000, excuse me, but like for the most part, I get along with most of my exes because I also feel like unless some crazy fucked up shit happened, and I mean like you definitely went out your way to want to hurt me, type shit, I could get over it for the most part. And then also if I don't have to see you, I don't.
Even if you can't, like, there's no need to a reporter ask you, "Oh, how do you feel about that?" I don't.
We don't talk about that.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be, like, just shut the fuck up. People love to talk.
Yeah.
Like, they just love to talk.
No, but you know what's funny? Son did that. Corday with
Is that Snoop's son?
No, Naomi Osaka, the tennis.
Oh,
the tennis girl.
okay.
So like Corday, I heard they had broke up, right? But Corday was doing an interview, and they started asking him about it, and he doesn't say like we still together. But he doesn't say we not together no more either. He's like, yo, we cool. Which couldn't mean like we get along. We obviously got a kid together. We not at each other's throats. We cool. But then they try to bring it back like she had to make a statement after that and was like, we're not together anymore. And then they try to come at him like he was fronting. I'm like, nah, he just don't want y'all in his business like that. And he tried to answer it in the most polite.
Even so, we're cool.
Yeah.
They
try to make it seem like he was fronting like they were still together. Like he knew that they broke up. And then her coming out and making the statement obviously was like, bro, you didn't make it seem like she might have a new dude. You making it seem like we still hang out on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get it. Why? But I think he handled it.
But even so, we cool. Like that doesn't.
You took it like that.
I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't confirm or deny. I said we cool. We can not be together and still be cool.
Which I assume she might be dating someone new. Because why else would she?
Even so, why would you feel that? But that's still a part of it. Like
you doing it for other people now.
I mean, if they ask you the same question, well, so we cool. I mean. We have a kid together. We should, at very minimum, be cool. Like, it doesn't mean we're sleeping together. It doesn't mean we're together. It doesn't mean we're not together. We're cool.
And I think the problem lies with letting the public in your shit in the first place. Because now they got opinions. They got opinions on how you answer questions.
So it's hard nowadays not to let the public in. I mean, because everything is just out there.
Yeah.
But so I'm not even like, even if the public is in, you still don't got to give detail.
But you know that's what Remy Ma and Papoose, they reading the comment, like, because they too old for it. Like why y'all care this much? And y'all both moved on, supposedly. So why y'all still, because people making comments, and then, I don't know how algorithm works, but it could be 100 people showing you love all day, you seeing the negative, and saying, oh, she did Pat dirty. Nah, let me tell you about the time, and it's just like, come on now. Like, no, and what was the real fucked up part about it is we are showing the next generation the wrong way to behave after you break up with somebody, because it's like, move on. We don't got to do this. We don't got to disparage the person we was just with and make them look like a clown, because now I'm looking at you for fucking with a clown. Like, yo, how clownish are you? If now you didn't see how clownish they were until y'all broke up, you know what I'm saying? Now they just coming to earth. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's crazy, man. Spec, we're going to move on to one of my favorite segments here at the Perfect Talk podcast, and that's called Have You Heard? I hear things in the news, and I bring it to my people here at the Perfect Talk podcast just to make sure y'all know, man. NBA Youngboy got pardoned by Donald Trump. I can't believe it, bro.
Neither can I. Well, I can, but like shit.
Along with Larry Hoover getting his sentence commuted, which I'll talk more about that.
I didn't hear about that. Okay.
Yeah, and reality star Todd Chrisley.
Heard about that.
Yep, got a pardon along with his wife. I think the NBA Youngboy stuff was he was doing like fraud basically for prescription drugs. He was fraud involving the pharmacies and stuff like that.
That's all he was in jail for?
Well, he's already on probation, I believe,
right.
for something previously. Okay. Yeah. And then I believe he had a firearm at some point, which he wasn't supposed to have either. But basically, it's all off the record now. You know what I'm saying? He's good. You don't got to do none of that peeing in a cup shit. He is good. Pardoned, courtesy of Donald Trump. So NBA Youngboy must have friends in high places, or I don't ever know Donald Trump's like motivation behind these.
I mean, it obviously has to be a friend in high places. I mean, type of deal. Because I'm sure he doesn't know NBA Youngboy per se.
At all.
So NBA Youngboy probably paid a good attorney who knows somebody. Yeah.
But which is funny because Chef G and Sleepy Hollow showed up for a Trump rally in the Bronx, and I don't think they got pardoned.
But they did get arrested.
I'm pretty sure Chef G is in.
I thought he was on probation. I didn't know he's in jail. Okay.
Hold on, let me look that up before you.
I'd be tight though.
Yeah,
NBA Youngboy. I showed up.
He ain't come through. Niggas like I showed up in the Bronx. Let me see what's going on. Shit. Rapper and gang leader to be sentenced to 5 years in prison for directing and participating in the shooting. Rapper Chef G pleads guilty in gang conspiracy. He's sentenced to 5 years, and this was March of this year.
I mean, 5 years ain't a lot for what that seems
like.
Yeah,
it's right. Well, I'm sure he has lawyer money. You know what I mean? That always helps. But yeah, you look at some of that stuff like but on the other hand, the Chrisley daughter, she was at the Republican National Convention.
Yeah, I mean, I know them too. I mean, that didn't surprise me that they got, I'm sure they're direct friends with him.
You think so?
I mean, close enough.
The way she was hyped don't seem like they know him at all. The way the daughter was hyped. It seemed like, but she knows Donald Trump because she was at the Republican National.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a connection.
Yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but I don't think she knew him before her parents got locked up.
Oh, okay.
I think her motivation for getting into politics was to help get her parents out of jail. But they locked up for the same shit that NBA Youngboy fraud. They was locked up. So, one thing I do like that Todd Chrisley did say is he was locked up with a lot of black folks, and he's like, it ain't the same system. He's like,
prison reform. Now he's saying
I wasn't treated like they was treated, and
I dealt with young African American males in the prison that I was in that were not treated the same. They were denied programming. They were denied access to certain things. I was not denied that, but we know why I wasn't denied that. And so I think that is a much bigger picture that we all as a society as a whole need to look at.
I obviously love when we stand up for our own people and we bring attention to things, but it does speak volumes too when another person sees it and from a different race and is willing to take time out in the press conference to mention it. So hopefully that can bring a little bit of attention to what is going on in there, and they're getting that reality show back.
Oh hell yeah!
They're getting that reality show. I ain't gonna.
He said we might do reality.
That was filming in the car driving home. Nah, man. I remember when I first heard about them because I was like, damn. They get locked up for that. No, I was like, that is crazy. But yeah, what is we don't know what the motivation is, but if I know Donald Trump, there's some backdoor deals going on.
He ain't lie. He ain't say I won't pardon Diddy.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
The reporter asked him, and he said, "Well, we used to be friends. He used to support a lot. When I started running, that relationship kind of went sideways a little bit. But we'll look at the facts. I don't know. We'll see."
Wow.
So he ain't saying nothing like that. He said, we'll look at the facts.
And 50 responded to that, talking about, Trump, I gotta go pay Trump a visit or something like that. He's like, I'm not with that. 50 is going hard. They brought his name up in court too, just a little tiff that they got. Trump is making it happen, bro. Shout out to Trump, man. He beefing with Harvard.
That is crazy. That's
new tariffs every day that he's threatening and might not happen. Yeah, the Harvard shit is crazy because on the court keeps getting involved, talking about like, bro, you just can't tell them they can't have 20% of the population. They got no
Trump just came through. It's just
what is the beef with them? He feels like they didn't do enough to protect Jewish.
Yeah, because on their campus, they allow protests of like Gaza, like not protests of, but they allow pro-Palestine, and Trump administration ain't with that, and they're like, they should be able to protest, blah blah blah, and we're not going to, Trump administration came through to all the universities. Y'all need to follow this curriculum, and don't allow X, Y, and Z, and they're like, nah, we're not doing that.
We doing what we want.
And so now it'll work. But they get, I think
they get so much money, bro.
From the $2 billion from the what? God,
that's not even including that's what endowments or something like that. Or that's not even included donations.
No, that's separate. Yeah, they have billions and billions in donations, but every year they get billions from the federal government. So
and black colleges can't get nothing. Can't get.
When I heard that, I'm like, for what? Like what? Like what purpose? Like where does that money go? And how you qualify for all that money?
And
and I'm sure in terms of their student population, it's not bigger than some of these other universities that don't get a quarter of that. So
research, I get, because it's not like they sports is pulling in people either. So it's got to be like research that they doing on their campus.
And I feel like I hear more about research from other schools than I do Harvard.
Harvard's just like the name, right? Yeah, you're right. No. Yeah, Trump is making it happen. You know what I'm saying? And you know, over here we like to do our little Trump talk every once in a while. But yeah, shout out to NBA Youngboy coming home. Just to clarify the Larry Hoover thing now, Larry Hoover is not free.
Okay.
Larry Hoover's federal charges were commuted, which means canceled, so to speak. But he is still serving a 200-year state sentence.
Oh, okay.
And,
so he ain't getting out.
No, yeah, in Illinois. It was like
so that was just like performative, kind of like
100%. Yeah, somebody paid needed a favor, and they needed the press, the good press of saying that this happened. But yeah, he's serving up to 200 years, for murder in Illinois. And several crimes associated with continuing to run the gang from prison.
Oh, okay. A murder? 200 years?
I think he was locked up for the murder, and then while serving that sentence, was running then they probably put some bodies on him while he was locked up. But Chance the Rapper had come out like, yeah, Larry Hoover coming home. A lot of people was tweeting Larry Hoover coming home, and it's like, no. But the federal charges are gone, and that's,
he may come home from the stand like now he may get transferred or something, because I don't know if he was in the federal prison and now he'll get transferred to a state prison type of deal,
or if that's even better,
right,
or worse. But I'm not gonna front like I know a ton about the Larry Hoover's case, but I know that a lot of obviously people in the hip hop community care about Larry Hoover. Want to come home, like Kanye West had a whole concert with Drake to free Larry Hoover and all that stuff back in the day. So shout out to anybody, you know what I mean, just getting some shit off their name. You know what I mean? And shout out to having friends in high places, man. Spec. Not gonna hate on this guy, man. Not gonna hate, because I actually am a fan of this kid, Travis Hunter. But everybody and their mama got an opinion because he got married last week.
Oh, prenup.
Yep, and no prenup to his longtime girlfriend, Leanna Lenae. Some people, Cameron came out and had comments about it. Basically, he said, they try to hit you with that shit. Why get a prenup if you really love me? Do what you want, Travis. It's up to you. I'm signing a prenup unless Shorty getting as much money as I get or more than me. If you're not getting more than me, you have to sign a prenup. It's just it just works like that for me. Mace chimed in. I think when it comes to young lady, she does have like different things that have transpired. For me as a dad, if that was my son, I would definitely be concerned. He was seen gifting her a Mercedes Benz, pretty expensive one, at their wedding. But yeah, let them. I can't care as much about 20-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this kid has more money than I've ever seen in my life, straight out of college. So who am I to tell him what he wants to do with his life? Should you put safeguards in place? Yes. If this girl would leave you for asking her to sign a prenup, probably a good red flag to notice early in the game. But for whatever reason, I guess you wanted the symbolic thing of not getting her to sign a prenup.
It's tough. It's really tough because I do get, like, I mean, I think they've been together, I don't know, let's just say 4 years or something like that.
His college career, right?
And, if in fact, you two are in love, I can see where it would become problematic to now me asking you for a prenup when I've been there way before you was this big star. And so
because we got to remember now, they get money in college. So they have NIL deals.
Okay, well.
So it's possible he was already getting something.
Yeah, okay. I mean, either way.
It wasn't NFL money, obviously, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could see, and me as a dude, I could just see where it's problematic. Do I wish he would have signed a prenup? Yeah, only because y'all too young, and just the probability of this being a long lasting marriage the probability is low. It's at the end of the day, it's pretty low.
No, it's 50-50.
That it lasts?
Isn't the divorce rate like 50% in the country?
Yeah, but that's taking regular folk into account. When you talk about celebrities, entertainers getting married,
because they have different,
especially at 20.
20, yeah, okay.
The probability of that shit lasting is almost slim to none. Like, if we just take the statistics, I would love to see if you take all entertainers and athletes, stars, and if they got married in their early 20s, how many of them are still married 15, 20 million.
I was thinking about that. I was like, I wonder what the stats are. But
There may be one or two. I
Really?
don't know.
Yeah.
But I would bet everything on. There's not a
a
lot.
lot of athletes we know are divorced.
It's just the nature of how shit works with their lifestyle and everything. I mean,
the amount of
there's just so many
temptation coming at
factors
them.
that go into it. When getting money, especially if you're someone who grew up without money.
Yeah.
You just act differently once the money comes. It's inevitable, especially that young. So because of that, I do wish he would have put those safeguards in place. But with that said, he did it, to each his own. I hope it lasts for you guys.
He had the perfect scenario to get it, right? Because the whole drama that they went through a couple months ago with his Heisman acceptance speech, and then everything that transpired that weekend. There was a lot of stuff that came out about Shorty. Now, whether he was paying attention to it or not, I'm not advocating that he should have left her because of some random dude post something about her. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I feel like he got hey, just just some things have come up, and we're not gonna go anywhere and do anything. But let's put this piece of paper on the table. You know what I mean? Or I don't also live in a world. I think it shouldn't be an insult.
That's tough. It just depends.
Because you're working, so you're working towards this goal. You know this is a career that you're working towards. So you've been working on that before you met this girl. So now to include her into let's just for the sake of argument, 50% of your earnings, she wasn't what you're shooting in the gym. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. I don't think you'd be wrong. Now, let's say, for instance, and I'm trying to think of a scenario. Let's say I know I'm going to get a settlement. You know, something like that. I got a contract coming up, and I want to get married. But I'm not paid right now. I'm broke. Let's say I'm, you know what I mean. And then I ask my girl to sign a prenup, knowing I'm getting some money down the line. She don't know about that. All that money is now mine. If things go left, she has no rights to it. That's effed up. But you see me training every day. You met me doing this. I don't think that's insulting to be like.
No, it is your prerogative. And if the girl can't understand that, then I guess she's not the one for you. Well, all I'm saying is it just depends on when this person entered your life. Yeah. I would have to say. I'll use my scenario. If I got rich tomorrow, right, I would never ask Thalia to sign a prenup at this stage after being together for so long. It's just... I just would feel like, God forbid anything did happen between us, how decades before, she has my kids, right? The way I see it, if my ex isn't taken care of and she's the one who has my kids, that means my kids aren't taken care of. Yeah. And also people got to think, when parents are split, and let's just say the traditional scenario, the mother gets the kids. For you dads out there, you have to understand, with the mother having the kids, it still behooves of you to still treat that woman right, because your kids are watching, and your kids are gonna feel about you. How your kids feel about you really is determined about how you treat their mom, all of these things.
And even how they behave.
Right, even how they behave. So I would look at it from that lens, right? The person who is taking care of my kids on the daily, I want to make sure that they're straight, period. That way I know my kids are going to be straight. And so... No,
but in your scenario, that's why I said it would be fucked up, because you're a 40-year-old man, in order for you to hit it big and get rich would be a lottery situation or something you built, meaning she was already around as you built it, Jeff Bezos and his wife type situation. So that'd be kind of fucked up. Right, to just be like, who did I see the dude from Barstool, Dave Portnoy? He was like, his ex-wife still has access to his bank account. He was on Club Shay Shay. He's like, yeah, I had love it. We didn't work out, but you was there when I built this all. He was there when I had nothing. I couldn't afford pizza. So he was like, and she's not gonna, I trust her enough to know she's not going to take advantage, but he was like, I have no reason not to give her access. That's a level that, I can't go behind. But in the, obviously, athlete, or let's say I was working on a rap career, singing career, and I was building it up, and then, I met you, and da-da-da, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. And I also think it shouldn't be a thing, because like you just said, even if you didn't sign a prenup, I'm still gonna take care of you. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? If it all doesn't just work out, but we still feel the way we feel about each other today, I'm still gonna make sure you're taken care of. I'm not gonna put you out there, you know what I mean, looking crazy. So it shouldn't be a thing where I think we got to take that out of it. Like it's weird because it is a love romance thing, but it's a legal agreement.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's a regular business agreement, and we should be able to negotiate on terms of business agreements. Like, and I know it's hard for people to think about it like that. And Travis, you are young, and I'm not saying that take the romance out of it, but you do have to think with a business mind state, so to speak. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of people trying to beat down on your girlfriend or whatever the case may, or your wife now, excuse me. But definitely take emotion out of things, and that's even goes to friendships. Yeah. Your friendships are not what they were before, and I don't know how much money you were worth before, but there are people that you're going to meet from this point on who are only nice to you because of what you can do for them and what they can get from you. And as genuine as it may seem, doesn't mean you have to shun everybody away. Doesn't mean you can't protect yourself and put safeguards up. Before we get out of here, Spec, we got to talk about my guy Chris Breezy getting locked up in the UK, locked up the man down across the pond. Yo, he had to pay $6.7 million in bail just to get out.
Damn.
$6.7 million. Had locked up for a week and a half. That's crazy.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of bail money.
Just showed up. He had a couple dates out in the UK. Showed up and was arrested for a incident that happened in 2023. Locked him up. Hit a producer, music producer, with a bottle in a London nightclub. Locked him up for that, and $6.7 million bail, which to him is a lot of money, but he probably would have lost a lot more than that had he not been able to show up for his tour that he's planning and whatever dates that he was happened to be in the UK for. And he obviously has it. But he also has some lawsuits and a lot of shit hanging over his head too. So $6.7 million to walk away with, there's nothing in your hand that you're walking away with, nothing tangible has to hurt, bro. I think that, this whole thing sounds funny. I think I spoke, was I talking to you about it or somebody else? But it's you could have went after him. You didn't have to wait 2 years for him to show back up. So the whole thing about doing this seems like they want to do it to embarrass him. Seems like they're gouging him for the bail.
Yeah.
But you can't hit people in other countries with bottles in the head.
Trying to send a message.
Yeah, 100%. And then think you could get away with it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that's the thing with Saleh. You think you're going to come over here and do X, Y, and Z, and then, nah, we going to show you that ain't happening.
Breezy, stay out of trouble, man. You a little too old for this stuff, bro, and you definitely could, you could stay out of it. You know what I mean? He's 38 years old. No, is he 38? He's 36.
Okay.
Still, about that time.
That's old enough.
I was wilding out at 36 in my own way, shape, or form. But that's about the time where you just wrap it up, B, because now it's not cute no more. You know what I'm saying? You're too old to be doing this shit. And $6 million, I'm sure you could have done a lot of great things with that money, as opposed to giving it to the UK prison system or jail system, whatever the hell. Spec, that is another episode in the books, my brother. But before we get out of here, where can my people find you at on social media?
Nowhere.
You can find your guy DJ Playboy on X at DJ Playboy. You can find me on Instagram at Plickapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. And of course, you can find Perfect Talk Podcast on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. Make sure you go check out the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com, for every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, plus my mixes from DJ Playboy, the night shift right there. And of course, you get some merch, you know what I'm saying? So get yourself a cup, a t-shirt, and all that good stuff. Check out the YouTube channel, like we said before. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notifications. And make sure you hit the like button. Hop in the comments. All that good stuff.
Yeah, let us know what you think, people. We always want to know what you think.
And we might give you some shout out on a future episode, so hop in them comments. Spec, a lot of things going on in the basketball world, man. Caitlin Clark caught a mean injury. She's out for about 2 weeks.
Got the hammy.
That's bad for the WNBA because she's obviously the biggest name and she's one of the biggest draws. She was able to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals though. But no, what did you think about that whole little foul with her and Angel Reese? I thought that they made a big deal over nothing. Now maybe that was Angel Reese's reaction, but that was like y'all reach it now. I think the WNBA is exciting enough without trying to drum up.
Well, I mean, obviously them two have a little rivalry. So, I mean, any type of interaction between them two is going to automatically, type of deal. But, hard fouls, competitors, nothing to talk about. Play ball.
Yeah. That team, Caitlin Clark's team looks like they're going to be a problem this year, especially when she gets back. The NBA Finals have been decided, Spec. It's going to be Oklahoma City versus the Indiana Pacers in the Farm Bowl.
In the Farm Bowl, yes.
Nah, man. I'm just an angry New York Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Pacers eliminated the Knicks. Yeah, it was a great series, though, man.
It was. I wish it would have at least won 7.
Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was fun. They gave New York something to all come together and root behind. And we're going to get the Pacers one of these years, man. It's gonna be good. But Halliburton's a nice young talent. I do
definitely not overrated.
Yeah, that whole shit's out the window now, right? I like how they was chanting that last night too. Yeah, definitely. He got to be
irony,
huh?
The irony.
Yeah, to make it to the finals. Yeah, he's got to be unlikable. I don't even think that. Like, what does overrated mean? Like, I think that just means they don't like you.
You know, it all just came about because he's the star of the team, but. I mean, is he really a star? I mean,
that's what they say. Yeah,
so that's just really where it came from. I mean, I believe he certainly has the potential, hands down. I just believe he hasn't fully grown into it yet. I believe he's taken his steps.
Yeah.
You know, he just hasn't fully grown into his role yet. I'll say that. And I just think that's where the whole overrated piece comes from.
I heard a commentator say he's part of the new wave of awkward superstars where like Patrick Mahomes will go in there where you look at them and like, that's not what an athlete necessarily looks like. But obviously.
Not Pat was?
Because Patrick, he's a dad bod, I guess. But
he's a outside of the black quarterback, when do you see built and ripped?
Yeah. But I guess they're trying to prove a point of when you have an image like LeBron, body wise, looks like what we think a superstar would be. Whereas they say Tyrese Halliburton's like kind of like awkward. Like I guess they call him goofy or doofy or whatever the case may be. It's like, well, I'm like, what does that have to do with his game? Like, like none of that. You know. Also, I guess maybe his interaction. Like he seems really media trained. Like he seems like he knows how to. Like he almost code switches when he talks into the media a little bit. Like because he seems like that well media trained. But I don't know. I really don't know what people want from superstars. Because like SG, like the new crop is not going to be exactly like the old. We kept looking for this like second coming of Jordan, and Kobe did give us stuff like that because he kind of was like had mannerisms of Jordan. But I don't think it's weird to like there's no mold. Like, and that's why these dudes are where they at now. Kind of with us heads like, why are they here? Because they the new crop. Everybody was down with them. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's gonna be super. I do think SGA and them are gonna knock them out. I think it's gonna be a great series. But it's shout out to the Indiana, man. They were definitely a great competitor. Sure. Yeah, they were hungry too. I think these new crop. It's gonna be a new crop of superstars in terms of like who we respect and who we see in all the commercials and who we see like that. Like I like this new young.
I mean, they're different. I mean, you could just see it in the younger gen outside of sports. The younger gen. I mean, every generation just is different, right? Yeah. So you know, just got to get used to it.
No, I think it's. I was getting a little like
they all may be coming up a little more friendly than what we are used to. I mean, but we see that now. Like they talk about even in the 2000 eras, like the LeBrons and all you guys teaming up and all of these things, like all of these. I mean, that's just the way it is. So.
That's a new area. No, I'm not gonna lie though. I am happy that we finally hit the finals because. Every night basketball, it do get exhausting, bro. Like, because we've been like since the playoffs.
I mean, in terms of going to bed and shit, yeah. I mean, it does get exhausting from that standpoint.
It does throw things off. So I'm glad we got a couple days between games now with the finals. And we've seen the end of the NBA on TNT.
Yeah, but are they keeping the crew together on a different station?
Yeah, ESPN bought the show pretty much.
So even Ernie's going to ESPN?
All four of them, they made a deal. And their production, I think, like, how they got, like, some dude called, like,
Underdog.
Or something like Underdog, right? Yeah. I think the whole production crew is coming with him. They said they're still filming in that studio in Atlanta.
Oh, just...
so ESPN...
ESPN and Turner is not under Turner,
No. But Turner does lost their basketball rights, so they have no use for the show called Inside the NBA. So they basically bought the rights of it. I've never heard of that happening before.
I thought Ernie would be staying on TNT and still doing all the other stuff. You know how they normally have like the one white commentator and does several sports with
I've never heard Ernie do anything other than basketball in his past.
Oh no, I've seen him do baseball.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like on TBS. Because the same station.
Yeah, connected. I believe they're shifting more to baseball And hockey, I think they play also. But and I think they got outbid by NBC and Amazon.
Right.
They got into
no,
the
they
basketball
did.
game.
I just thought they were like completely breaking up the show.
Well, I think they were trying to. I think like people were trying to buy them separately. Like yo, Chuck, come over here.
Okay.
And then they decided to stay together as a unit. See what it could be negotiated. And ESPN bought. So I believe we're not going to see Malika and Perk and.
But aren't they with Stephen A? Malika and Perk?
I think Stephen A is going to have his own. Maybe he might hop in with them sometimes, but I don't think.
I doubt that.
Yeah, I think Stephen A is going to just do his own. Maybe like ESPN2 will play the Stephen A halftime. Like I don't know. I don't even know how that's going because egos are going to come into play.
Right. Yeah. That's why I'm saying I don't see Stephen A going with them. Yeah. He's still he's big enough to have his own thing.
Yeah. And like Shaq was cursing last night. Shaq was like, "Yeah, we coming to that new station and we gonna fuck it up." And it was number one. And Kenny cursed too. But it was like, nah. But they're the number one show. Like that's I don't want to watch. No disrespect to Malika and the rest of them.
Right.
They're not inside the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like it was an easy deal. The only time I was trying to explain to my girl, I was like, I've never seen a network buy another network show. And just like, we just moved
right.
Yeah. But the only time I did see it was ESPN. Remember Troy Aikman and Joe Buck? For years they were on Fox, and then ESPN bought them for Monday Night Football.
That is true.
But usually, like you see one of them will go,
right?
And I was like, oh, they took the pair, like they took both of them. So I was like, yo, that's crazy. So yeah, ESPN they throwing that money around when they need to. That Mickey Mouse money.
But then also when you think about it, like Malik and them, they may still keep them because the I don't know what the schedule's going to look like, but maybe they'll only still work maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah, because I think, because there's other games, yeah.
And then they still need other hosts to still do other nights.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be interesting, yeah.
Because I know they're not going to work every night.
But they do double headers. So
they do double headers on.
ESPN has a double header, which is usually what? Wednesday and Friday.
One of those days.
I think Tuesday and Thursday is usually TNT. We used to hold it down. So I don't know if ESPN's going to get different days or whatever the case may be. They might have more basketball on 4 days a week, and then they'll come in on certain ones. What I do think is they're still going to have NBA Countdown. Like Kenny and Shaq and Chuck, they're not going to want to show up to work every day. Right. They still going to have NBA Countdown. Whatever version of that like they have that's an afternoon show also. So like they're still gonna have that. They're gonna talk basketball.
It's just that prime time show.
Yeah, to start it off. And then it might even be something where they start it off and then they kick it over to Kenny and EJ and them to do it. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But I do like it would have been bittersweet. It would have been sad last night to watch them sign off and you're not gonna see them again. So it was like not as not to sound like gay or nothing, but like not as much of a tearjerker, you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna see them again next season. So, but yeah, man, we up out of here. Spec, say goodbye to the people.
Peace.
Peace.